Gibt es allgemeingültige Regeln für das Glück? Machen Erfolg, Geld, Zeit, Humor oder die Gesundheit glücklich? Spielen meine sozialen Kontakte, meine Genetik, der freie Wille oder meine persönliche Einstellung eine Rolle für mein Glück? Leo Bormans, Journalist und Autor aus Belgien, hat 100 Wissenschaftler auf der ganzen Welt zu den Ergebnissen der sogenannten psychologischen Glücksforschung befragt. Daraus ist ein neues Buch entstanden, Glück, The World Book of Happiness. Im Interview mit Volker Schad, dem Vorstandsvorsitzenden des Optimistenbunds Deutschland, nimmt Leo Bormans Stellung zu interessanten Inhalten und Hintergründen seines neuen Buchs und er spricht über Optimismus.
There are two kinds of books on happiness. There is all this scientific literature of which most people don't understand a word, and then there are lots of books with the 7 tips to be happy and just happiness. Instant happiness in 7 minutes. You just eat some more fruit and bananas and you will become happy. It doesn't work like this. What is important is that you discover that something is in your own hands. And that you have to, that it starts with reflection on your own life and on your own happiness. We have asked 100 professors to give their view, their light on happiness, and some have studied handicapped people, some have studied women, some have studied in Africa, in the tsunami in Bombay, and this book is a kind of mirror that makes it easy to reflect, to think what's in for me now. And you cannot read it at once in 2 or 3 days because you will get sick. I think you will get ill. This is too much. This is too much. You just have to pick out some ideas and to make sure what does work for me. There is a standardization of a questionnaire. In the positive psychology, they have a 7-point scale, and they're using this worldwide for the same groups of people, and in the years, year after year, so you can compare things. Okay. You can compare it, and that works. Yeah. Optimism is not just sitting in the sun; is enjoying sitting in the sun. Go and sit in the sun, not just the sun is shining. I choose. I make a choice, and I go and sit in the sun, and I want to be happy. That's a choice. The correlation between optimism and happiness is as strong as smoking and lung cancer.
Wow.
So there is a reason to be an optimist. It's a good reason to be an optimist. We spend lots of money to prevent people from smoking. Yeah. Why don't we spend this money to make them optimists? Quite a lot of people say, I'm not an optimist, I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist. Well, a realist is a pessimist who doesn't want to admit it yet.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not true that healthy people are more happy. Mm-hmm. It is true that happy people are more healthy. Mm-hmm. It's the inverse. Mm-hmm. It's the opposite. Mm-hmm. You have to be happy, optimistic, and then you're healthy. It's not. There are ill people, sick people, people who are not healthy, who are very happy. And another thing that surprised me is what people told me in the past was that you have to suffer to be happy. That you have to deserve. You have to you have to deserve your heaven. Yeah. You have to creep on your knees to Santiago de Compostela to be happy, and then you deserve it afterwards. Well, that's not true. You do not have to suffer to be happy. There is good reason to be happy and to be consciously happy. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Mm-hmm. There is not one solution. If someone tells you that he has found a formula that will make all people happy, don't believe him. Run away. It's not true. He's lying. we have to be careful for that. For people who try to be gurus and say that this is the way that will make you happy. There are quite different ways for everybody. If you give an advice to people that you should move a bit more, or you should act a bit more, that doesn't work for people who are active all day long. They should be calm. So everybody has to find his own way of happiness. And now they just found out that, well, maybe we have made a mistake the past 30, 40, 50 years, focusing on the negative things now. And then everybody has his own story, his own personal story that makes him change, that makes this whole world turn around, and that he sees that, in fact, what am I doing? And then this moment of opening the eyes is wonderful to see in all these people. And they are not crazy, they are not stupid, they are not naive, they are scientists, and they all made that same decision that, in fact, you have the choice. What you focus on is what you get. There is a Chinese professor in the book, and he says, when I ask my patients, are you happy? The answer is an empty face. They don't know. And if I ask them, is your family happy or your friends happy? They can talk for an hour. But if I ask the same question in America, are you happy? An American can talk for an hour, but if you ask about his friends and his family, he even doesn't know. So maybe it is time now to learn from each other, to combine this wisdom. What I'm doing for 20 years now is I write down 3 words every night, 3 words that have been the word living the day. So something I can be grateful for. And I'm doing that for 20 years already. That means that the 3 words is not very much, but that there are 1,000 words in a year. There are 20,000 words in 20 years. Now I'm learning in the psychology of positive psychology that this has an English name. It is called the Gratitude Journal. And it works, it works. It is proved by scientists that if you do this kind of things, then you become an optimist, you become happier, and so on. And I didn't know, but I was doing that. 50% of our attitude to optimism and to happiness is genetic. It comes from our parents and our grandparents. 50%. 10% comes from the circumstances. That is our money, our house, our job, and 40% is caused by our own interpretation. That's made by our own eyes. So these 50% we cannot change. That's genetics. These 10% we are focusing on very, very much, because that's what daily life is about. It is about the 40% that we should focus on. That is the 40% that we can change. This is the way you look at things, and if that is your personal choice, and that's 40%. It's a stupid idea that you should be 100% positive or optimist. That's not true. That's impossible. Life has its ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. But it is what is the focus, and this 40% is in your own hands, in your own eyes. So the choice is yours. Sunny countries are not more happy than cold countries. We always think that the Southern Europe countries, and South Africa and South America, are always people dancing. Well, it's not true. The most happy countries are the Scandinavian countries, Denmark and so on. These countries are more happy. It's quite cold there and not rainy. Rainy. If you are born in Afghanistan, you have a problem. If you were born in Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Scandinavia, you're lucky. You're lucky. In fact, we are not that lucky or that happy than we should be. There is suicide. There is all these antidepressive pills. People are not happy, and that is because one important thing in a country that you need is trust. Trust is a very important predictor. If people trust each other, if they trust the government, if they trust institutions, that's an important predictor. So if societies want to be happy societies, they should not work only on making people richer, but also on making people trust each other, trust institutions and so on. People don't care paying taxes if they know that they're used well. Religion does play a role. Worldwide, religious people say they are happier than other people. Not very much happier, but they say they are happier. But it doesn't matter which religion it is.
Okay.
So just the fact that you are religious, that you have some meaning of life, something that is deeper than ordinary life, then you're happier. People who are married are a bit more happy than others.
Okay.
But it depends on whether they're optimists or pessimists.
Really?
Yes, if two pessimists marry, it's really a disaster. Positive feedback, that makes people gloom and happy and optimistic. Positive feedback. Why are schools and teachers so they don't like positive feedback? They're very good in saying what's wrong and mocking.
That you screwed up.
Yeah,
three mistakes.
Mistakes.
They don't say 287 words right. They say 3 words wrong.
If a child has got the task to write, well, write about your dream. And this child of 8-9 years has been writing all day long about his dream, and he gives it to the teacher, and he gets it back, and there is one mark in red that there is a language mistake, but he has been talking about his dreams. What are we doing, in fact? Why don't we give more positive feedback to people in schools, in relations, in jobs? Well, in fact, we have all become richer, but we didn't become happier. We must make different choices. So, economy has to change. Politics, schools can work together. Hospitals, doctors focusing on what's good. Psychiatrists, parents focusing on what is the real power and strength of children, for instance. We cannot change society just by this. But we can inspire people. We can inspire people if we work together from different levels. It will not be solved by one television program or one book or one organization. But if all these people who are working together, people, for instance, who do voluntary work, that's something that's very important. That makes us happy as well. We know the difference. People who work for money or people who do voluntary work, these voluntarists are more happy than the others. So why don't we combine and connect all these people to make them believe in themselves, to show them that they are doing the good things. Well, there are quite a lot of definitions on happiness, and one of them I prefer is feeling good while doing good. Not only feeling good, that's the pleasure of fun and sex and drugs and rock and roll, nothing wrong with that, but that's feeling good. But feeling good while doing good, the connection of the two. If we can inspire people of doing that, of feeling good while doing good, then the world can become a better place. And we can improve optimism. We can, by 10 or 20% in everybody. We can, by teaching them, by working on it, by making them more conscious. We can. And when people are become more optimistic, they will be more successful in studying, in sports, in politics. They will be healthier. They will be successful, more successful in their jobs. We will have a better world if we focus on optimism, and optimism will lead to more happiness. That's in our own hands. So Optimistan will be a nice world to live in.
Great.